It's day 3 of Rahul Gandhi's mega 3-day Kheti Bachao Yatra in Punjab against the Modi government over its contentious farm laws. Addressing a press conference in Patiala, Rahul once again launched a scathing attack on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Rahul even warned, saying that people will lose jobs and there will be food shortage in the next few months due to the farm laws. He also termed the farm laws an attack on farmers, saying that Modi, Adani and Ambani will finish off small and medium farmers and labourers. Rahul will shortly, as you can see, he's already begun his tractor rally. A big showdown is also expected as Rahul will be entering into Haryana from Punjab. He will then head to Kurukshetra, where he will conclude his rally. Sources have told us that Haryana's government will allow Rahul to enter into the state with 20 leaders. The Khattar government has cited COVID protocol and said that an FIR will be filed against organizers if a meeting is held in violation of COVID protocol. So these are images from Rahul's tractor rally, which is on day 3. Anand Patel's on the ground there, tracking the tractor rally. Anand, take us through what's happening right now. Is Rahul headed towards Haryana from Punjab now?
Yes, Shiv, I can tell you this is the Punjab end of the border, very close to the border, and you can see Rahul Gandhi driving a tractor. Shiv, if you can see the visuals, these are dramatic visuals. This is the 3rd day of the Kheti Bachao Yatra. Until now, he was driven by Sunil Jakad, who is the Pradesh Congress Committee chief. But now, as the rally has come close to the Haryana border, Rahul Gandhi is himself driving the tractor. You can see these are dramatic visuals, Shiv. I've never seen Rahul Gandhi driving a tractor. You can see him doing so, flanked by Congress leaders and a small procession which is following him. We're not sure whether this procession will be allowed by the Khattar government into the Haryana border, because the Khattar government has already sounded a warning that only a delegation of 20 leaders will be allowed, and not more than that will be allowed into the Haryana border. So that is very much in the mind of Rahul Gandhi as he drives through the Punjab-Haryana border. These are very dramatic visual shift, and in Haryana, the government has already said that due to COVID protocol, not more than 100 people will be allowed to gather at the 2 public meetings Rahul Gandhi is scheduled to hold. So it will be interesting to see whether the COVID protocol will be followed or not, though Congress leaders have been saying that they will be following the COVID protocols, but it remains to be seen as to whether it is followed on the ground, because the Haryana government has already said that they will file FIRs against the organizers if the COVID protocol is not followed. So you can see Rahul Gandhi, very few minutes from now, he'll be crossing the Haryana border. And these are historic images, Shiv, the manner in which Rahul Gandhi is leading this Kheti Bachao Yatra for 3 days in Punjab, and now it's entering Haryana. Back to you.
So is there possible trouble ahead, Anand? You know, with the crossover to Haryana, with the COVID protocol, the barriers that have been put up by the Khattar government, you know, this crowd looks much bigger than 20 persons. So possible scuffles ahead, it looks like.
Well, yes, certainly. It looks like there'll be a showdown, Shiv, because the procession is much longer, much you know, larger in number, because you can see the leaders, though they were requested by the organizers at the public meeting which was taking place just a few kilometers from here, that the procession will not be allowed and leaders should not follow him, the tractor should not follow him. But we can see some tractors still trailing. These are Congress leaders who are following Rahul Gandhi, and you can see these security men which are leading this procession, and Rahul Gandhi riding a tractor alongside Harish Rawat, who is the General Secretary in charge of Punjab, and Sunil Jakad, who is the Pradesh Congress Committee chief. But you can see other tractors also, Shiv, as you were pointing out, that this is a much larger procession than what is permitted by the Haryana government. So a face-off imminent, a showdown imminent, Shiv. The border has come. You can see policemen lined up. You can see these visuals. If the camera person can pan towards the other side, you can see the massive deployment of the police force. You can see on the other side, Shiv, on the other side of the border, the congressmen waiting over there with Congress flags.
Yes.
And here, massive deployment of the police force as Rahul Gandhi enters the Haryana border. And you can see just right behind me the procession of Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi riding a tractor is headed towards the Haryana border. And this small procession, I think there are 5 tractors which are trailing Rahul Gandhi at the moment. And this is more than what has been permitted. Well, let's see whether all these tractors try and go across to the Haryana border. And let's see if there's a showdown. Looks like there's an imminent face-off here, Shiv, with the strong Congress leaders and workers' presence on the other side of the border. This is a small bridge which Rahul Gandhi has to cross to enter the Haryana border. And you can see the Congress workers who have come here to express solidarity with Rahul Gandhi. Shiv.
Very, very dramatic pictures. This is all playing out live on the Punjab-Haryana border, where Rahul Gandhi is about to cross over. He's driving the tractor himself. As Anand has pointed out, he's flanked by Harish Rawat and other Congress leaders at this point of time. There's a lot of police on the ground as well. There's Punjab police on the ground. Of course, the Congress is in power in Punjab. The BJP is in power in Haryana, into which Rahul Gandhi appears to be looking to cross into right now. There have been some COVID-19 protocol barriers that have been put up, suggesting that Rahul cannot cross with more than 20 persons when he addresses any rally in Haryana. And there is way more than 20 people right now. As Anand is pointing out, this could lead to some kind of scuffle on the ground, but there's enough police on the ground, hopefully, to make sure that things don't spiral out of control. Emotions are high already. The Congress galvanized at this point of time on the back of these protests, the Kheti Bachao Yatra by Rahul Gandhi. So he's driving the tractor himself, flanked by Congress leaders including Harish Rawat, and is headed towards the Haryana border. Anand, take us through what you're seeing. Live images, these dramatic images playing out on the state borders right now. Anand, if you can hear me?
Yes, Shiv. Please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and take us through the pictures that you're seeing. It looks like they're right on the threshold of the border now.
Yes, Shiv, they are on the threshold of the border. The border is barely 100 meters from here. All they are waiting is for instructions from the on-ground officials as to whether he can ride this tractor into Haryana, because this is a Punjab tractor. Whether they will be allowed to cross on tractor or not, that is being worked out. And that is why you can see the procession has halted for a little while. His security staff are coordinating with the people on the Haryana side, and they are waiting for instructions as to whether this tractor can cross or not, or whether Rahul Gandhi will cross in his own vehicle. That remains to be seen. And you can see the visuals here. Rahul Gandhi continuously talking to his security staff and coordinators on the ground. But massive deployment, Shiv, you can see. Massive deployment of the police over here on both sides, be it the Haryana or the Punjab police. Massive show off here. You can see this, the manner in which the Punjab police has completely barricaded this entire area to avoid a face-off between the two sides. And you can see a small delegation there. Just 2 tractors now, Shiv, trailing. In fact, 3 tractors are trailing Rahul Gandhi. And whether these Punjab leaders on the tractors will be allowed to cross the border, it remains to be seen. Only 20 people are allowed as per the Haryana Home Minister Anil Vij. And that is why you can see the modalities are being worked out at the moment. Shiv.
Okay, stay with me, Anand. Preeti takes over now. We're going to continue to keep our cameras focused on what appears to be an escalating situation on the border. Will Rahul Gandhi be able to cross from Punjab into Haryana? Preeti, over to you.
Thank you, Shiv. Let's just take you down to the action. This is the border area. To give our viewers perspective, where Patiala, joins Haryana. That is the border area there, and all poised for a face-off. You see on the tractor, there's Rahul Gandhi who's driving this tractor, which has a Punjab number. He's flanked on the right-hand side by Sunil Jakhad, if I'm not wrong, from Gurdaspur constituency. On the left, because the gentleman's wearing a mask, we're going to try and get in a larger understanding who that is. I have Anand Patel with me on the ground with what seems to be building up as a huge, huge face-off between the Congress and the Haryana government. To give our viewers a little bit of perspective, for the last 2 days, Rahul Gandhi has been on a yatra alongside farmers in Punjab. All right, let's just listen in to Harish Rawat impromptu addressing the press. All right, okay, so Harish Rawat, sorry, I beg your pardon, Harish Rawat and Sunil Jakhad flank Rahul Gandhi. Of course, he has his security at the back, but let's give our viewers a bit of perspective on what's come to this right now. The last 2 days, Rahul Gandhi has been in the state of Punjab spearheading a farmers' rally. Lots of tractors, lots of farmers, multiple varied reports coming in on the response to that. But having said that, the Haryana government had said that Rahul Gandhi will not be able to cross over. They will not allow him to cross over with this julus or the rally. It is a farmers' julus is what the local Congress leadership calls it, that they will not allow them to cross over. These are COVID times, number one, they say, and number two, they say this will cause unrest. What is also a matter of interest, and Anand, if you can hear me, is that this time around, now this is our second face-off of the Gandhis in quick succession. We saw it at the UP-Delhi border. Now we are witnessing possibly in the making in the Haryana and Punjab border. But the only difference, Anand, is that there is this time support on the other side of the border. A lot of farmers, most of them associated with the Congress, have gathered on the other side of the border towards Pehowa.
Well, absolutely, Preeti. This is going to be a face-off between the two governments, between the Punjab, led by the Congress, and Haryana, led by the Khattar government, the BJP government. And Rahul Gandhi just had, a couple of days ago, he had a face-off with Yogi government, a BJP government in Uttar Pradesh, and now he's up against another BJP government in Haryana this time. And you can see him in the pictures, Preeti, Rahul Gandhi, who rode the tractor for at least a kilometer or so just before the Punjab-Haryana border came, and you can see him sitting in the middle, flanked by Sunil Jakhad and Harish Rawat, who is the General Secretary in charge for Punjab. And you can see a small, procession behind him. You can see 3 more tractors trailing Rahul Gandhi. These are Congress leaders from Punjab.
What does the Congress say right now, Anand? The government of Haryana says you cannot come in. You want to come in alone? Yes, you can, but you cannot lead a procession into Haryana. Is he all right to do this alone? Will one tractor enter Haryana? Will he enter on foot and maybe get onto another tractor on the other side? Or he wants to go in with the people he has with him?
Well, as of now, the plan looks like that Rahul Gandhi wants to enter Haryana on a tractor with a small delegation. I spoke to the Haryana Home Minister Anil Vij in the morning, and he told me that Rahul Gandhi is welcome into Haryana with a very small delegation of 10 to 20 people only. And he will not be allowed to hold a public meeting, a large public gathering. Only up to 100 people are allowed at the public meeting as per the guidelines which are issued by the government of India due to COVID pandemic on the 30th of September, that no public meeting of more than 100 people is allowed. So there are 2 meetings which Rahul Gandhi is expected to address in Kurukshetra, and both these meetings, will there be only 100 people? It's very difficult to say, because the cadre mobilization has been there for almost a week, and hundreds of farmers.
Exactly. Anand, I want to ask you, we have a fair idea on what's happening on this side of the border. This side is the Punjab border. It's a friendly government. It's Rahul Gandhi's own government there. On the other side is the Haryana government, which is the BJP. Give us an insight on the other side of the border, Anand. How many people are there which are Congress supporters or Congress cadre? Because there's been an attempt to mobilize the Congress cadre in Haryana as well to come to the borders.
Yes, Preeti, as you can see, we are showing you now the picture of the Haryana side. You can see these live images which are being transmitted. This is the Haryana side of the border, and you can see flags of the Congress party in the hands of party workers. Hundreds of them also lined up on the other side. And that is the reason why there is massive security deployment on either side, just to avoid any uneasy law and order situation. And that is the reason why you can see those Haryana cops also there. And the government of Haryana, the BJP government, has put in strict protocol in place that only a small delegation of Rahul Gandhi will be allowed to enter. So they are still, talking with the authorities there. They are waiting for a go-ahead from the Haryana side, Haryana authorities. His security staff is coordinating with the officials on the other side, and they're waiting for a go-ahead. And Rahul Gandhi looks like he will drive on a tractor through this Punjab-Haryana border and enter Pehova, where he's expected to address the first public meeting today.
Well, it's a two-day tour to Haryana from Pehova. He's going to move on to Kaithal, Kurukshetra, Nilokheri, and will culminate his journey in Karnal. This will happen for 2 days at the Karnal Mandi. But to give our viewers perspective, at least right now, it seems to be a Mexican standoff. Nobody seems to be blinking, but we have word coming in that the Qatar government would not want the optics that played out possibly during the time of what happened at the UP border. To avoid those optics of the Gandhi in question here, Rahul Gandhi, possibly facing the ire of the Haryana police, there is going to be a middle ground that seeming will be reached. What we are getting an indication is that possibly 20 leaders, including Rahul Gandhi, might be allowed to enter through the borders of Haryana. Am I correct, Anand?
Yes, Preeti. Now, because of the COVID protocol, the Haryana leg of Rahul Gandhi's Kheti Bachao campaign and tractor yatra has been cut short. It's just only 1 day today. He will wind up the Kheti Bachao yatra in Haryana today itself from Kurukshetra. He will enter Haryana border. He will address a public meeting at Pehova. Then he is expected to visit Jyotisar. Jyotisar is a very historic and place of mythological importance for Hindu religion, because that is the place where Lord Krishna gave the Gita Gyan, the Gita sermon, to Arjuna ahead of the Mahabharata. And this is what the Congress leaders were saying, that Rahul Gandhi is also set to visit Jyotisar and seek the blessings of Lord Krishna before he wages a Mahabharata against the Modi government. This is very symbolic, Preeti. We must try and understand this. This is very symbolic and significant, the manner in which Rahul Gandhi will be going to this historic place, Jyotisar. This is the place where Lord Krishna gave the Gita Gyan to Arjuna. And from there, after seeking the blessings of that religious place, Rahul Gandhi will address another public meeting in Kurukshetra, and from there he will head back towards Delhi. So because of the COVID protocol and because of the permission issues with the Haryana government, his Haryana leg of Kheti Bachao campaign has been cut short from 2 days to just 1 day. And we can see the Congress leaders raising slogans over here, and you can see them on those tractors led by Rahul Gandhi, flanked by senior leaders of the Congress party, awaiting an approval from the Haryana side to enter the Haryana border. Preeti.
All right, we are going to quickly go into a break there, but what you see on your television screen right now seems to be a complete standoff between the Congress rally, or a motorcade you can call, on tractors, that is being led by Rahul Gandhi, the farm yatra, the Kheti Bachao yatra, and he's going to enter into Haryana. Is Haryana going to stop him or allow him to enter? That's the big question. We're going to keep a keen eye. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.